Quick! We gotta play the new Bendy before people stop caring! Okay, so a few weeks back, I played through the original Bendy and the Ink Machine, that horror game from 2017 about the littlest man. And it just so happens that right when I started making that video, a sequel that everyone thought was canceled dropped out of nowhere. It's been like a month since then, so I only have a few hours left to make a video about it before it becomes irrelevant forever. But first, are you sad? Did your favorite TV show or video game series end and now you're forced to face the uncomfortable inevitability of all things ending, whether that be the media that brings you comfort or your own mortality? Well, good news! Turns out you don't have to face any of those harsh realities at all. Just try denial. The following is not mental health advice, it's just a joke. Your favorite cartoon ended? No, it didn't. If you don't accept it, then it can't be true. And guess what? Living in denial is now easier and more fun than ever. Introducing the FootofaFerret State of Denial collection. 3 new pieces of awesome FootofaFerret merch sporting my classic catchphrase, I live in a constant state of denial. Just look at how much fun I'm having. I'm not spiraling, shut up. Check out this awesome and totally not concerning design on a t-shirt, a dad hat, and now even a mug. So you can be decked out from head to hand in your own denial. The mug even has a little extra feature. Just turn it around and... So check out the State of Denial merch collection available now at the link in the description. And of course, other pieces of past FootofaFerret merch are still available to check out as well. Seriously, I love this new design. I hope you guys dig it too. Checking out the merch is a great way to help support the channel, so I really appreciate it. Merch plug over. And now, these are Foafy's adventures in Bendy and the Dark Revival. No time to waste, let's go! So, real quick, in the last game, I played as this guy named Henry Stein returning to his old place of work, Joey Drew Studios. The old-timey animation studio famous for the characters Bendy, Alice Angel, and Boris Wolf, among others. But the place was abandoned, run down, and crawling with monsters born from this unearthly ink junk. I then ran around, got scared by a Bendy monster, solved puzzles, whacked a bunch of people, fought bosses, definitely didn't get frustrated at any point ever. This part sucks. And in the end, I saved the day by making Bendy confront their own mortality, which caused the heat death of the universe. Except not, because the game then just started over. And then I stopped. Now I'll play the sequel. So hey, it's the 70s! Sorry, couldn't resist. And we are an animator at Archgate Studios named Audrey. Apparently this place acquired all of the Joey Drew stuff after he passed away. Oh, right, Joey Drew, the man who created Bendy, he's dead now. He will be missed. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the important thing is that Bendy and the studio are owned by Archgate now. The studio itself has been renovated and expanded with the help of something called the Gent Corporation. We're working really late, and we just gotta have our coffee. So we hop up from our desk and start our adventure. And wow, this game looks amazing. I mean, it's no graphical powerhouse or anything, but compared to the original, the improvements here are wild. Though, I do kind of miss all the orange. Oh well. I should also say the game runs really well. Even at max graphics settings, the game is super smooth. Though, for some reason, that smoothness didn't really translate in my footage. Most of the raw footage from my playthrough wound up looking like this. That's fun. So, a big shout out to my friend Rayburn, who has a much more powerful graphics card than I do, and helped capture some extra gameplay footage so that this video wouldn't give you a headache. Thank you! But anyway, getting back to the game here. I wander around the spooky studio for a while, reach an elevator, and start to head, somewhere. I can't actually tell if this is going up or down from— Oh man! So, this is Wilson. He's the bad guy. Like, for real, his only character trait is being the villain in this game. And I mean, not to judge someone by their appearance, but look at this guy. Listen to his voice.
Audrey, are you familiar with the Five Nights at Freddy's timeline?
Yeah, Wilson is villain. And now I'm stuck in an elevator with him. And then the power goes out. Good. We eventually wind up in a place that, just gonna take a wild guess here, is not where I was trying to go. Wait a minute. There's no coffee here. It's just a demonic shrine. Ugh. Again. Yeah, so, this bit's pretty familiar. There's a room of 6 pedestals surrounding the ink machine, which I think shrunk in the wash since the last game, and I gotta go find the various pieces of junk to put on the pedestals while Wilson fiddles with the electricity. But uh-oh, surprise, surprise, Wilson tricked us. No, you're kidding. Didn't you hear his voice? By putting all the stuff on the pedestals, we activate the ink machine, which starts flooding the room. Wilson then grabs us, rambles about showing us the truth real slowly. He plunges us both into the ink, and boom.
Bendy and the Dark Revival.
I wake up later and the orange is back. Oh, and I guess Audrey's an ink monster now. That sucks. And with that, the game really starts. We're back in the bowels of the studio with no choice but to push forward, seeing just how much the Gen Corporation is industrialized this place in the process. But the deja vu just keeps deja vuing. That's a joke, right? As I stumble into one of the more recognizable locations from the first game, the Heavenly Toys room. Famous for being the room where I hid from big, drippy Bendy that one time. It feels like it was only last month. Yay! Alice Angel is back! Remember when she stopped an evil version of herself from killing me in the last game, tagged along for a little while, and then the game just kinda forgot about her? Yeah, now she's back, and she's kinda giving us your basic post-apocalypse speech. You know the one.
Yeah, I remember my first day here too. Here's an itemized list of all the different types of enemies you're gonna come across and all the catchy little nicknames we give them. Am I being vague enough to be ominous, yet detailed enough to be helpful? Okay, cool. Bye!
Alright then. The only thing Alice really told me to do here was to just head to the upper levels of the studio, so I guess that's what we're doing. And I gotta say, this game is really cranking up the scare factor. Oh. Turn around. Alright. Oh, okay, that's where I'm supposed to go. That was clever. There's more jump scares, spookier atmosphere, and a lot more tension. Because now, there's stealth. No more just bashing people in the head with a pipe. Now you gotta sneak around without being spotted, and then bash their head in with a pipe.
I love blunt force trauma.
But it's not all pipes and collapsing skulls, because a little while later, the game teaches me how to banish ink creatures instead of killing them. I just sneak up behind them and use my special glowy hand that I apparently have to send them back to the inky abyss. The game tries to sell this as the less violent option, but it definitely looks like they're dying. And they definitely scream like they're dying.
The screaming.
There's gonna be a story at some point in this game. I've been walking around the studio for an hour now and learning all the new mechanics, which is nice, but nothing's really happening yet, and oh my god. It's him! It's Bendy, the littlest man! He's real! Yeah, I guess I never really thought about how we've only ever seen Bendy as the ink demon. We've never actually seen him as just his normal self. He looks so wholesome, but I accidentally give him this little static shock that makes him cry and run away.
I guess the real ink demon was me.
Well, anyway, Bendy runs away, I'm heartbroken beyond belief, and I just keep exploring. Eventually finding a door in the animation department that I can't go through until I find this ink dude his 5 missing drawings. But just as I start searching the place for these pictures, the ink demon himself finally decides to show up. Kinda funny how the ink demon didn't show up until after that little Bendy dude disappeared. That's probably just a coincidence. Just like the first game, the ink demon pops up seemingly at random, makes the whole screen go spooky, and you gotta hide fast or else... I got 8. So I'm running around, being stalked by a tall black and white monster and collecting a bunch of pages. Surprised no one's made a game like this until now. Anyway, I got all the pictures and brought them back to the guy, who then opens up the door and immediately starts beating me up. How ungrateful. He deserves to die. Oh, what's this? Oh, hello. I think you're missing a few things. Oh, well, now you're just missing. Okay. Okay, I think I might have just cursed myself. Is she just gonna keep popping up yes, she is, okay. More exploring, more bashing, more stealth, more scares. Oh, I can teleport now, that's fun. And finally, I reach an elevator to take me to the safer upper levels of the studio. Boy, it sure would suck if a villain suddenly came onto the intercom to override the elevator and send me crashing down. Oh no, this has never happened before. Man, this game really is recycling a lot of moments from the first one. I wonder what that's about. Ugh. Where am I? Ew. Spider. So here we have the game's first boss fight. And considering the boss fights were the absolute low points of the original Bendy, I gotta admit, I was pretty nervous about this. But honestly, it was alright. Run around, hit these things to make a Did something happen? No, they were just shiny, so I hit them. And then bash this big spider until it stops moving forever. I'm sure these experiences won't leave any kind of lasting impact on my mental well-being.
I love blunt force trauma.
Well, I'm even deeper in the depths of the studio now, so much for the last few hours of progress. And there's no telling what's lurking down here. But to be honest, I feel like at this point the game's probably shown me most of its new stuff. I doubt there's gonna be any surprises left.
I believe there's something special in all of us. Especially you, Audrey.
Joey Drew? Okay, I did not see that coming. Okay, well, technically, it's not the real Joey Drew. He's still very much dead, and it is still very funny, but this is a copy of Joey Drew made from the ink. And he just starts lore dumping. According to Joey, this studio is basically a parallel universe that doesn't follow the normal rules of time. The whole place is on a loop, the same things happening over and over again. Hence the ending to the first game, and all the similar events we're seeing in this game. But with every new cycle, the whole thing's starting to deteriorate. And I guess it's up to me to try and break the cycle. Joey points me in the direction of these dangerous ink creatures called Keepers who have been working to freeze the cycle themselves. He says I'll find my answers there. Well, you know, if they don't break all my bones first. Joey then Homer Simpsons through the wall, and I'm alone again. But with a new objective, find the Keepers. Yeah, I guess. And I mean, I've explored a ton of this studio by now. I'm sure there can't be that much more to see. Oh, you're kidding. You're kidding, right? You're telling me that inside this studio is a city? Am I really looking at a city skyline inside a building? Jesus, man. Bendy really looked at the security breach pizza plugs and said, huh, cute. Speaking of cute, look who's back! It's the guy! It's the boy! I apologize to Bendy for accidentally electrocuting him that one time, and we team up to explore this insane new city area. Look at him! Bendy's my friend now! I love it! This is the best game! Same story as always. There's a locked door, I gotta find a way in. But as I started looking around, people gotta stop doing that. Joey Drew pops back up and is like, hey, come to my house. And then...
Where am I?
Okay, we're back at the start of the first game. That's actually pretty cute. And I'm sure it would be filling me with all sorts of warm nostalgia had I not played the first game last month. But why am I here? Well, Joey Drew sits me down and, I'm not kidding here, shows me a PowerPoint presentation on the lore of Bendy and the Ink Machine. Dude, Matt and I were just joking in the FNAF recap. Someone actually did this? Well, here's how the story goes. Joey Drew, the real one, remember, he's dead, very funny, had lost pretty much everything after his studio had started to fail, so he became bitter and blamed it on Henry Stein, the former animator that we played as in the last game. When Henry left the studio, Joey decided to use the Ink Machine to create a new nightmare world that he controlled, even creating an ink version of Henry to toss into this ink world to torture him. You know, like a normal person. And all that is basically the setup for the original Bendy and the Ink Machine. We were playing as this ink creature version of Henry, being put through a never-ending cycle of torment created by Joey Drew himself. That also explains why the studio didn't go all sepia tone in this game until Audrey became an ink creature. But continuing with Joey's slideshow, the real Joey then met a woman named Allison Pendle who he became fast friends with, even hiring her to voice the character Alice Angel, replacing the previous actress Susie Campbell. You remember her? Yeah, you remember her. And Allison's positive influence on Joey's life even led him to create the Alice Angel who's been helping us out across these two games. I mean, maybe he could have just stopped torturing an innocent clone of his old friend and coworker with a never-ending nightmare cycle, but nah, just create another person to torture and toss them into the fray too. And a lot of that is just clarification on things we kinda already knew. The big shocker here is the reveal that Joey Drew created one more thing with the Ink Machine. A daughter named Audrey. So yeah, Audrey, the character I've been playing as this whole game, is and always has been a hyper-realistic ink creature. More advanced than Henry or Alice, some kind of hybrid, I think. And with that revelation out of the way, we flash back to the town I was at before, I grab a key and push forward, but Bendy's nowhere to be found. Yeah, not that Bendy. Wait. I knew it! I knew you were too cute to not be a secret demonic entity! Yes, this little Bendy guy has actually been the ink demon this entire time. And those crazy electronic towers somehow managed to incapacitate him, turning him back into regular old Bendy. They also deactivate my powers anytime I'm around them. These towers are also the work of the Gent Corporation with the help of the Keepers. Those guys Joey Drew told us about a little while ago? Yeah, these guys are scary. They talk like Doctor Who monsters.
The subject will stand in the designated location.
And they will kill on sight. So I gotta be super stealthy. Starting now. But while sneaking my way past the Keepers, I also managed to learn more about their experiments. Particularly that these are the guys who managed to, as they call it, sedate the ink demon, turning him into harmless little Bendy. But in the process, they basically tortured him. And I don't care if he's secretly a murderous demon who's killed me multiple times, he is also my friend, and I will protect him at all costs. Oh, who's this funny guy? Goodbye. I push forward a bit more and eventually find myself in a room full of like containment pods for the Keeper's various test subjects.
You must be really lost to be asking me for help.
Wait a minute. I know that voice. That's us. Like from the first game. That's Henry. I never actually got to see what he looked like in the first game. He looks sweaty. Henry tells us how to defeat the ink demon and reset the cycle. He's done it before. And of course, it all has to do with that reel of film labeled The End from the first game. The one we played that made Bendy go, "Ah!" Yeah, you know the one. So our end goal in this game is exactly the same as the first one then. I mean, I get we're doing this whole time loop cycle thing, but this is starting to feel more like a soft reboot than a sequel. Yeah, anyway, let's see what else is in here. Oh! Hi, Bertram. I see you left the carousel ride. You're looking good. Dead. Leaving now. Uh-oh! Okay, yes, I did get captured by one of the Keepers, but it was a scripted thing. Instead of killing me this time, I just pass out, later waking up on... What is this, a train? Really, we're doing a train now? A train? In the studio? Okay, sure, why not? And to make things worse, look who's back.
I am watching you while you sleep. Audrey.
Good old creepy Wilson. He guides me through this crazy laboratory part of the studio that he runs with the help of the Keepers, and he dishes on some more lore. Wilson here convinced the people of the studio that he killed the ink demon, which we know is obviously a lie. All they did was turn him into a marketable plushie. But he does seem to have a plan to break the cycle for good, with the secret weapon being me, though I'm not sure how or why yet. He also says he needs me to help him save his dad's life, little out of nowhere, and because it's Wilson, I don't believe a single thing he says. But I mean, I'm stuck in the studio, Alice is nowhere to be seen, my only friend is the thing trying to kill me. I don't really have much choice. Oh, and the Keepers don't actually kill me when Wilson's around, so, you know, and that's another reason to go along with all this. Wilson expositions at me for a while as he takes me to this surprisingly fancy living area. For real, all of a sudden I'm in a mansion. And once the dude's done lore dumping, he leaves me with Betty, his assistant, who shows me to my room. Guess there's nothing to do now but get a drink of water. Gross. And get some rest. Oh no! I hate it when twisted angel people magically appear in my bathroom and knock me out. It's the worst. So yeah, now Twisted Alice is back. That evil version of Alice Angel created from her original voice actor, Susie Campbell, who made us do a bunch of random chores in the first game before getting stabbed by Good Alice. And just like last time, she wants to steal bits of Audrey to help make herself more beautiful and— Jesus Christ! They gave her a Tommy gun! Dang, Alice ain't messing around this time. Oh my god. I try to sneak up behind Alice and use that banishing move on her, since, you know, she's just kinda standing there. But she catches me and is just about to kill me when... Yep, of course. Just like clockwork, Good Alice shows up at the last possible second and stabs Twisted Alice through the chest. Exactly like the first game. It even happens right at the end of Chapter 4, just like last time. Man, they're taking this cycle idea really seriously. But after several hours, I'm finally reunited with Alice. And she even brought Tom with her. They warned me about trusting Wilson, but do offer to help us break the cycle. And then I leave. The next, hour of the game is just a really long stealth section with a bunch of Keepers. But once I'm through, I find my way back to Wilson's lab. Whoa, look at all this crazy multicolored rainbow ink. What's all this for? This is the first bit of color I've seen in hours. Holy crap. Oh, why is it so dark up ahead? Oh. Okay, it hadn't loaded yet, never mind. I finally reach the actual lab and find Wilson, and he's like,
It's time. Audrey, please be sure you have completed any side quests and have saved your progress before entering the lab. And thank you for playing Bendy in the Dark Revival.
Which I think is the game's, super subtle way of letting me know that we're about to reach the final challenge. And after all this time, Wilson's true plan is finally revealed. It's an OC. No, seriously, Wilson wants to create a new ink demon to dethrone Bendy, one that he can control. And this is what he came up with. I'm sorry, I know the game is taking this just so seriously right now, but every time they cut back to this goofy little sailor guy, it just cracks me up. Come on, this is kind of funny. But the funny doesn't last long because Wilson finally drops the bomb. The secret weapon to creating this new ink demon is me. Dude wants to toss me into this meat grinder and turn me into his OC. Literally everything Wilson said about saving his dad and making things right was, of course, a lie. The truth is that his dad is actually Nathan Arch, the businessman who acquired Joey Drew Studios after Joey died. And all this junk Wilson's pulling is just born out of jealousy and resentment for his dad being negligent and too focused on work, blah, 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 push. Well, that was easier than expected. So yeah, I pushed Wilson into the meat grinder, he gets turned into this new ink monster, and we've reached the final boss. It's me against a giant Wilson ink demon hybrid dressed as a sailor. It's perfect, I love it. And the fight itself is okay. Just like the first game, it's mostly about tricking the boss to destroy a bunch of stuff around them and using that to my advantage. You get Wilson to bash open the fuse boxes on these signal blockers, deactivate them, and then just avoid his attacks until it's safe to hit him. Do that about 3 times and you're golden. And you can tell, the game doesn't actually want you to fail this, because in between every phase, ink creatures pumped full of that rainbow ink attack you, and killing them actually gives you health back, which makes it even more embarrassing that this boss took me about 4 tries to get right. But oh, we are not done yet. With the towers deactivated, I get my powers back and banish Wilson, but the monster's still there. They grab me, no joke, rip off my legs, throw me to the ground, and are just about to take me out. But remember, the towers are off, which means the ink demon is totally free to barge in and absolutely wreck the monster. That's cool, but with them out of the way and me now minus 2 legs, it's just me and the ink demon with no way out. The demon consumes Audrey, assimilating her soul into his body. But Audrey's still there, she still has some level of control. And because clearly not enough is happening right now, Joey Drew shows up again to deliver one last inspirational speech to Audrey and give her the reel of film that can put a stop to this, before the ink demon just freaking snaps him like a twig. Jesus. Luckily, Audrey is able to overpower the ink demon and take control of his body, grabbing the film and getting ready to restart the cycle. And oh boy, get ready for this. For the final stretch of this game, we get to play as the ink demon. We're huge, super powerful, completely invincible, kinda clunky to control, and totally unstoppable. As the ink demon, I'm just plowing through room after room, tearing down walls, and bolting to wherever I need to go to play this film and reset the cycle. And along the way, everything just comes together. Tons of ink creatures swarm to attack me, but Alice and Tom show up to help clear my path. Alice pulls out the frickin' Tommy gun and just starts mowing people down, and Tom rides in on that big guy we saw earlier to help fight. Eventually, we even meet back up with Henry, who leads me to the projector, and wait, is that Sammy Lawrence? The crazy music director from the first game? Since when were you in this, dude? This is really cool. I love how full circle this all is. If only my actual gameplay didn't look like this. Whatever. I make it to the projector, start the film reel, Bendy goes, ah! And then... oh, good. I'm at work. Yes, the cycle rewinds all the way back to the beginning, with Audrey now at peace with who she is, working to make the cycle better for her friends. You know, the friends she saw for like 2 minutes. Oh, and Bendy's just here now. There he is. He's real. Not in the parallel world anymore. Just a living ink creature out and about in the real world. Sure, okay. Roll credits. And that is Bendy in the Dark Revival. Overall, a massive improvement on the first game. I think the original has a bit more charm, but other than that, this game is pretty much better in every way. It's actually really interesting. In a lot of ways, it's kind of like a soft reboot, but the story it tells wouldn't work anywhere near as well if the first game weren't still canon. And because of that whole cycle thing, the game is able to stand as both a sequel and a reboot kind of thing at the same time, and do both really well. This game left me genuinely excited to see what the future of Bendy is. Oh, Wait, I almost forgot. Apparently this game has a secret ending. Let's check it out.
Well, the coffee's good and all, but this work's gotta get done. Focus, Audrey, focus.
I could have just done that the whole time?